You guys hear that, or was that just me?
I heard it.
Okay. I asked that a lot. Voices in my head.
Appreciate everybody joining. We called the meeting to order at 7:37. We did it a little bit different this time, and we have some guests joining us. They'll talk just a little bit, but we sent out the fleet report in advance, and the fleet report kind of listed our position and stuff where we're at. And I think we covered a lot of ground with it. And so the one of the things that we want to be able to do with that, Jim Crabtree, our um, Midwest District Governor, would like to take, and maybe not word for word, but he would like to publish that fleet report or excerpts from the fleet report in the district newsletter. And we also want to use some aspects of that for publication. And so we kind of talked a little bit. It'd be good to, let the membership as a whole take kind of a vote on that. So I guess I would say for those that have your camera on, or if everybody could just flip on their camera and assure all those in favor raise their hand.
I've got a question first.
Okay.
Yeah, for Eric and Greg, since you were there, my only question is on the reference to the Convention and Visitors Bureau describing the grant. Does that I know the idea is to give credit to the Convention and Visitors Bureau. But were we implying anything there with because the grants are really one time each year for a particular project? That was my only question. And you guys were there, I wasn't. So is there any liability, or does that look okay to you guys?
I'm okay with what's there. I don't think it
Okay.
creates any liability for them. I think we're covered on that.
They did it technically to help our regatta, but we kind of use a lot of those funds to help get people in, and technically I haven't asked for a rebate refund on the or reimbursement for the thing. So, but yeah, but generally, Greg says there's more support coming from the Conventions Bureau, which gives us money to support us in all ways, and one of those big ways is Facebook advertising, which allows us to advertise free and give us revenues to cover that expense, because I don't know, it's 5, 6, 7, $800 or something like that, whatever it ends up being, in Facebook ads to get the results we're getting.
Actually, they've got an open house down there tomorrow. They introducing the new director. It's the lady that was taking care of us, Terry. She retired, and they've kind of rearranged positions. We'll still be working with Jessica, I think is the main one.
Right.
The lady that's in charge now. So I'll see what they're willing to do. Just touch base with them. I think they'll help support certainly the Commodore Cup, and they were pretty generous. I don't know if they'll do the glow because I'm not sure it's in their district. But I'll touch base with them on that.
Yeah, well, they did offer another $500 for the 90th year celebration, so they're still good and participating. Very good.
Yeah,
That was my
they're
question.
willing to do. They're pretty friendly on that part.
Okay. Go ahead, Dan. I'm done.
So I'd entertain a motion if we want to bring this to a vote to approve using parts of our fleet report publicly.
Motion to approve the fleet report as written. How's that? We following Robert's rules here?
You got to ask for
Or
a
we
second,
following
Dan.
Dan's rules?
Well, I try to do Robert's rules when I think about it. So we need a second.
Jim Curtis seconds.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
aye.
Okay. Any opposed? If you want to unmute, why? Let us know or put it in the chat. I'll give you a few seconds here. I don't see any, but so that's approved. So there'll be aspects of that report that we'll talk later in the meeting. The second part, I sent you out some by email, some changes, and I'm not sure that my list was complete, but the dock changes basically boiled down to the trailer parking for the slip rental boats is the upper tier of the marina deck parking, where we stored several of the boats over the winter anyway, and are not going to want them on the grass that was across the road where some of them were. And where we had trailers last year, that's a big construction zone right now. But the trailers are filling in pretty quick out there. There's a lot of change if you haven't been there. Second aspect, vehicle parking when we come out there. And we still understand that Wednesday night the restaurant may be open, but we've heard a little bit of conflict on whether it is or not. But anytime the restaurant's open, we are to park in that lot between the marina building and the ramp drives, so that we're not taking up the parking right there, that especially for the older people that need to be able to get in. And in the rock lot where the trailers were last year, part of the game plan is a lot of these campers will be using golf carts, and they're supposed to park down there. The other item, trying to remember what the other item was. Anybody help me?
I don't remember. I just posted on the chat the combination of the restrooms in there.
Okay, and the restroom combination, Gavin didn't really say it that way, but I don't think they want that getting out to the general public.
Right. But I think we're all entitled to use it.
A little discreet with, I'm sure it'll get out anyway.
So to be clear, Dan, those of us who are sailing there, it's expected that we can use those showers.
We're slip renters. We'll get special dispensation for the glow, but realize too that especially on the weekends it could get pretty busy. But through the week I don't think it'll be quite that busy. But it's there for us that when we come off the water, sometimes where the restrooms are is pretty big walk, so it'll be a nice thing to have. But it's it's a small facility when you compare it to how many people are going to be in that campground. So any questions on anything that we've covered so far? Okay, hearing none, let's move to the election of officers section. I've checked with the existing officers, which are myself as fleet captain and associate commodore for Clinton Marina Sailing Club. I'm willing to serve and continue, but and we also have well, secretary / race chair is Eric, and fleet measurer is Chris. All of us have said are willing to continue on. I'm going to open the floor for nominations for anybody for any of those 3 positions. So nominations are open. Don't everybody talk at once. I guess we have some people that are muted, so if they want to raise their hand or do something, let me know. Okay, hearing no nominations, I guess we just need an approval. All those in favor of the slate of existing officers, say aye.
I
All those opposed. Okay, so technically, we've wiped that major piece of our business off the list. I invited the second vice president of the Flying Scot Sailing Association, Jim Colgrove, to say a few words if you'd like. So, Jim, the floor is yours.
Well, thanks, Dan. And it's good to see everyone. I liked Dan's statement in the report that Fleet 135 has become sort of a powerhouse in the area, and that is very true. You guys are doing an awesome job, and you should be really proud of everything that's going on. I'm excited to hear that Curtis and some others are going to be putting together potentially a new fleet up on Lake Springfield. Is that what I understand? That I see heads nodding. John, wonderful.
Jim, this is Jim Curtis, and I would say there is talk of that. There's some thoughts, some talk. There's not actually any. And John Sapansky is here. He can speak more directly.
Yeah, I think that, is this when you want me to talk about it, or is?
We can
Maybe later.
Yeah,
That's fine.
so.
I just wanted to recognize. So remember, all you need is 3 boats that are registered with FSSA, and you guys can become a fleet. So it's not a lot. I realize that it is a lot to pull that together and everything like that. I'm just excited that there's another location where we might be able to get a few boats on the water, and that just strengthens the Midwest district altogether. And it warms my heart. It's wonderful. So, a couple of things that I've got for you guys. It's pretty simple. Membership. Right now we are sitting at 655 for FSSA, and we're sending out some letters to those who have not renewed yet and everything like that. I would encourage everyone to sort of encourage everyone around to join, renew, whatever, and that type of thing. We are working on things that you folks let us know was going on with the survey. Are there any things that you would like to bring forward to me right now? If you want, if Eric would let me share a screen, I could go over just a couple of those really quickly that I think are key to us and everything. But I really want to hear from you folks if there are specific things that you would like to.
Do I make you the host? Do I make you the host in order to do that? Is that how it
No,
works?
all you do is go down to the screen share button, and you as host can allow multiple people to share a screen. And while Eric's working on that, are there other specific questions that you have concerning the survey, or points that you would like to bring up, or whatever? And silence.
I
Okay.
will say, I'm just glad you guys are taking a look and making a big effort to do that, because that's what's going to keep this class alive and active and keep people engaged. So thanks for doing that.
Jim, you should
You
be able to
bet.
share it.
Yep, I got it now. Thank you. So a couple of things stuck out in my mind on the survey, and this was one of them. What we hear is all the time, people are like, I can't, go to different regattas. I can't go to different events and that type of thing. And, um, it, you know, it would be, it's the biggest thing is saying really right here, more events closer to home. Um, and that ties in really closely with what are the biggest barriers. And I'm sorry, I'm scrolling here for you, please. So the biggest barriers, time constraints, and our biggest um, our biggest threat, I guess, is the best way to say it, is not other boat classes. It's not other different kinds of boats and everything like that. It's all the other stuff that we get pulled into. And what we really need to do is kind of focus on um, time on the water. And you guys are already doing that with your what is it, Sea Legs Saturday, and all the training stuff that you've got going on, helping people get into the boat. A couple of things that I've just sort of tried to focus on asking of fleets and districts is just start reaching out to people, and if you have a friend or a relative and they're not really sailors, just take them out on the boat. Just it doesn't have to be anything fancy. It doesn't have to be racing, or maybe it does. And find things to engage people and get people interested in sailing overall, and more focused the Flying Scot. So with that, profound garbage, um, what can FSSA do for you folks? What do you see as lacking? What do you see? What feedback can you give me? Um, and I guess if there's other stuff that you would like to just review real quickly on the survey, I'm happy to do that also. So I'll open it up to you. And
Well, Jim, I just want to say thank you for serving in the role, number one. And I just want to say, in my experience, I want to say that I think it's awesome that you guys are trying new things. Whether you connect or whether you hit it out of the park, I don't care about. I just really like that you're taking feedback from people. You're willing to adjust the structure of some national stuff and not doing it the way we did it because that's the way we always did it. I hate that, by the way. But that is awesome. And whether it works out or whether we land on something quickly or sooner than later, I just really like that you're taking feedback and willing to adjust the dials a little bit. And I think it's showing. And I think it creates more conversation. And no one's ever going to be happy, right? But I think that effort is very obvious, and I think that's changed a lot over the past 5, 7, 8 years, and I think it's showing. So, thank you.
super. Thank you so much for that, Eric. We are trying to do some things differently. As with everything, the class sometimes moves slower than people want, and in any kind of a government structure thing, things don't always happen kind of the way that they can in business, which is quick changes and that type of thing. We're trying new things, but we're trying to be careful about making those changes and that type of thing. A couple of other points that I remembered that I wanted to make. First of all, if you look here, large majority of our class is very satisfied or somewhat satisfied with the class as a whole, which is just awesome. This is the one that is troubling most to me, partially because I fall into this bar right here. Our class is aging out, and that's not necessarily a bad thing as long as we are getting some of those new, younger, other folks coming in. So we just kind of need to focus on that. This year is the lead up to the 70th anniversary of Flying Scot. And we are doing a bunch of stuff. Eric is already helping us a great deal with that, getting some visual assets with drone footage and that type of thing. I would ask all of you to start taking pictures, whether it's what are they called, Eric? Shorts?
Shorts, yeah.
Where it's a short video clip. Am I saying that right?
Yes. A short little, yeah. I don't know how to describe it.
People having,
Short
people
little
having
video.
fun around a party, they're drinking and somebody's telling a joke, or some of the chaos at a starting line, or, just anything and everything. We're trying to capture pictures and video and that type of thing to really celebrate our 70th next year. So this year, 2026 is the build up to that. So if you guys could grab stuff, be thinking about that and everything and anything. We're trying to figure out how we're going to pull it all together and make something spectacular, but we would love input and assets from everyone if we could get it. So I'm just going to ask one more time. Is there anything anybody wants to convey to FSSA, to the board, positive, negative? I want to hear, everything and anything. I appreciate Eric kind of giving us a pat on the back. We're trying, but we may be coming up short, and we'd like to hear that also.
Jim Curtis had a comment in the comment section.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see that. Under chat?
Yep.
Okay.
No, that wasn't me. It was a different Jim.
I'm
Let's
sorry.
see. Oh, that was Noor. Noor had something there.
Yeah, it's more of a question / comment for you, Jim Colgrove. Since you were asking, I don't know if there's anything available like that right now. Not that I'm.
Okay, so actually, Nora, great question. So we are actually working on this. Tim Porter from down in Lake Norman is actually trying to pull together a crew skipper matching something or other. This was just discussed, and we don't think we want to use one of the current, I think there is Rail Meet is one that is sort of a national find crew and that type of thing. There's a couple of others like that. We're thinking that we want to keep this more contained to Flying Scot and everything. So we're thinking he is going to try and work on something where in our membership profiles on the FSSA site, we will figure out how to open that up and everything like that to try and match skippers and crew It may be for all events. It may be started just for like national events. Um, it's still a work in progress right now, but great, great question. Thank you, and we are working on it.
Jim,
Chris?
I can, if you want, we can talk later, but one of the ideas that I had, and this was a CLSA thing, but using the Google Forms, and I had an idea called Crew Finder. And what you would do is you would put your information in and you would
Mhm.
click if you were a skipper or a crew. But what the form would do is it would compile it into a spreadsheet. And then there was a way to automate that. So then when somebody signed up and said, I'm looking for crew, then it would automatically send an email out and you wouldn't have to be involved with that. But we could do it just for our group. You could also set it up for specific events, like have a drop down list of events. But we can talk about that more later. But it'd be pretty, I think, easy to implement and just use a script in Google. So,
Yep, Chris, uh, when we had the regatta, the lightning regatta, one of the individuals that participated there found his crew through some crew finder to sail in Decatur. I don't know exactly what that is, but it sounds like that type of mechanism that you're suggesting may already be up and running somewhere.
There are several national databases that are up and running. The J24 class, I believe eScows, and many of the larger boats use these platforms exclusively to find crew and everything like that. So that does exist, and we are aware of that. So Chris, I'll reach out to you, or you can reach out to me later on. I think this is great and everything. And honestly, let's have a great sailing season. Let's get out on the water and have some fun. Thank you so much for letting me take some of your very precious time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jim. Um, John, why don't we insert you here where our district governor was unable to join us, and you can talk a little bit about Island Bay Yacht Club and what you guys been talking about over there.
Thank you. First off, Flying Scot, you're doing a great job. I really appreciate what you're doing. The time I came over and sailed with you guys last year, I walked away amazed at what you guys have going on there. It's fantastic. I believe, well, I'm the waterfront director at Island Bay, and I have been sailing Flying Scots on and off since I was 16 or so, a really long time. I think that Island Bay is primed for a Flying Scot fleet. I know Jim is there also, and he's sailing with you guys as well. There's another Flying Scot there that's for sale. My sister has a Flying Scot. Um, that makes three that I think we could, as was suggested, charter a fleet. Um, the second one, I don't know if that's a boat that'll jump in and do that. Uh, I I as an instructor see the Flying Scot as a fantastic boat to teach adults on. It also is a great boat to solve one of our problems that we had last year. We had a very successful adult learn to sail program, but after they were finished, there was the question, well, what now? And having some boats that the club owns that can be used by sailors is a fantastic idea. I'm in my second year, or just starting my second year in the position, so suggesting to buy these things and spend a lot of capital while the yacht club is doing a tremendous amount of capital improvements is a difficult sell. So I'm kind of in a position of trying to figure out how we could make this happen uh, in the least painful way. But I think once it gets started, I think that there is a group of people here that could feed into that. If we could somehow replicate what's being done or regionally associate uh, a fleet to what you guys are doing, I think that would be fantastic. Anything we could do to mimic what I saw last year would be great. We do have a lot of resources. I'd like to see the husband and wife regatta at Island Bay in the upcoming future. And I understand, of course, that Flying Scot wants to have a fleet there before that happens. Um, I I lost my track there. But
Joe,
as
John,
a yes, sir.
could I jump in there?
Sure.
So, Flying Scot has had regattas at several different locations that did not have current Flying Scot fleets.
Okay.
So that is not a requirement. It's kind of a nice because of a lot of different things. But if you would like to talk with me about that, or I can put you in touch with our national committee chair.
Okay. Is Bruce Kitchen still on the board?
Bruce is first vice president, just ahead of me.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's
so
he's a
Bruce,
very good friend.
yeah.
So I can
So
talk to Bruce.
you could definitely talk with Bruce. Yep. So
But
just FYI.
yeah, I think that one other thing that Island Bay gives us as an area or part of a region is the facility itself. It is a yacht club, it is a restaurant. We have significant launching and docking facilities. We're adding to our docks. If you've been there, they're going to be 100 yards longer or 100 feet longer, sorry. So we'll have two very long docks and three hoists in a very protected harbor. So, and the sailing area is literally right off the end of the docks. So if we ever wanted to have a districts there or something like that where we could collaborate the three fleets, it would be fantastic. One other thing that I want to say before I finish is that we are having a junior sailing program. We have a camp that runs in three different sessions throughout the summer. I had talked to Eric about uh, your program and how you may not have a dedicated program for juniors. We would be happy to take your juniors in and give them a great 2 weeks of camp. And we can also give a discount for that if they're from Decatur or Clinton. And one other thing, I know you guys are really, really into instruction and getting people on board. We have a level 1 US sailing course at Springfield in June on the 5th through the 7th. And that is open right now. I'd rather have you guys as instructors sign up if you want to than the rest of the world coming in. But our spots should fill up pretty soon. I think that's all I've got. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer any.
Well, John, I think you meant that's a U.S. sailing instructor course, right? Not a U.S.
Yes,
sailing
sir.
certification, right? So that's just clarification. But
No,
also
it's a level 1 certification course
for instructors.
for instructors.
For instructors. So if you want to instruct, he can go over and show you the ins and outs of that. I know Jim Colgrove's a level 1, I think.
Yep.
I'm a level 1, but I might need to pass my sexual harassment training thing, which might be overdue. But I just want to add here that um, we're talking about this. It's preliminary, but I have the same feeling, and we don't have an exact plan of how Springfield's going to work in or how it is. And I don't think that matters so much. I got the same spidey sense that I had when we looked at Decatur and I see opportunity down there. And there's a way to make it work if we can do it in a complementary way so that everybody's winning and working with each other and working in the same direction. and not against each other. And these kind of conversations, I think, are going to go a really long way in that. But they got some cool things going on there. They're a big MC scow fleet. I think they transitioned from sea scows and they're going to MCs. I don't care, but I think the MC Scout is a great complement to the Flying Scot. It's a great single hand boat. It's like Bill Vogler, he races Scots, and that's a single hand boat. They're compatible, and if you have compatible sailors, and maybe not all of them, but every once in a while you get a bunch of sailors from the MC Scout fleet, and everyone's getting along, and everyone's excited about each other's success. Maybe a bunch come over and help each other out in regattas and those types of things, and it creates a nice thing. I really see good things developing. I see the Scott as it can be any kind of boat you want it to be, but I think it really fits as a wife, husband, or couples boat, in a club that has a star scene, an MC Scout scene. There's not another great boat. Then they have us over here. I think it could be a really great regional thing, and we don't have the 22-point plan, but I think I think all the elements are in place to really turn this into a good thing in the next 2 and 3 years. So
I'm really into doing what it takes to make this happen as well. I will say this, the club is in a good position right now. When you join, you don't have to be unbelievably wealthy. You can be a sailing member, which is a very reasonable price thing to do. One other thing, and this is kind of to Jim, uh, the uh, the experience I've had in Flying Scots in the past was at Carlisle, and there was a little bit of difficulty for sailors to hop into the class. And what Eric had just said about the MC being a good complementary boat, yeah, I think it's fantastic. We race twice a week. We could race MCs on Wednesdays and then race Scots on Sundays. But the Flying Scot has been, uh, at least at Carlisle, and I don't know if it's national or not, restrictive about letting people hop on a Flying Scot and sail a regatta in the past. And I would encourage us, and I count myself as one. I don't know if I'm still a member, uh, but I think that we should be inviting that because I think as people experience the Scot and the camaraderie and the fun, it's a good thing. It's very attractive.
Okay, thank you, John. I'd like to, we need to keep things moving here a little bit, but I want to give our fleet measurer, Chris Tesdall, a chance to say anything he might like to say. I see you're muted, Chris.
Yeah, I have some visitors over, little friends this evening, so didn't plan on that. So, but otherwise, I think we worked on a couple boats really heavily last year, and if there's anything that you need, let me know. We're doing some projects here early in the season, and it would be easier to get some of those things done pre-season before everything gets busy and people start traveling. So if there's something specifically you want, a bigger project we can do, or if you just want me to look at your boat, I can do that too. So
I'm going to tie in with that. Some of you know I'm dealing with some heart questions, and right now I'm not supposed to be way overexerting or any heavy lifting or anything. And so we've kind of got a target that we could start sailing the first Wednesday in May, but I may be calling on some of you to help me get some boats out and around and to the docks. And there again, we're weather dependent in early May. But just heads up, it's time to start thinking about boats.
Also, Dan, Chris made this conversation for you, Adam. I don't know with Adam's newfound addiction of buying flying fleet development boats, which is welcomed and it's awesome, by the way. we're not going to be able to find that many people that fast to put people in boats. And we have other fleets like up in Madison who are willing to buy those boats. And our 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 goal has always been to, when we get a good fleet development boat, to kind of make sure that if we do have it leave the fleet, that it's into a friend's fleet where they're going to be racing it, rather than some guy who buys it and sticks it in his garage and doesn't sail it. Now, we have people up in Madison who are interested in buying our fleet development boats, but I didn't say I don't want to say that they're for sure for sale or not for sale. So who should we be sending people to who are interested in buying boats? And should that be to Adam or Chris? Is there a central person coordinating that, or should we? Are you going to list them, or do you care? Are you going to make them public? That's the question I got, because we have fleets who are growing right now in the district.
Thank you, Eric. That's awesome that you bring that forward, because this is can be a challenging question.
Let me put my hand up real quick. I'd like to talk to, I didn't get the name and I didn't write it down as to who I need to talk to if those boats were available. So that's the thing we're looking for.
I know that we have a few boats that are for sale right now, but I haven't advertised them because they are not the type of turnkey boat that I want to get somebody that wants to join and start doing regattas. They need work. So the prices are good, but there's the caveat that it needs work, right? It's got a core problem. It's got a boom problem. It's got gel coat problem. One of them's a custom flex. And the problem with that one is not that it's a bad boat, but what I told the guy when he bought the boat was, you're going to have to sit on that a long time to sell it. And so he bought and upgraded a boat, and here he is sitting with it. And I don't want somebody to have to sit on a boat when they decide, I've outgrown this boat, right? If it's a good Scot, I can sell it in 48 hours. If these other ones, there's something that's holding them up.
So we have boats, but they're going to need work. The question is, do you want to part with them, or do you not want to part with them?
That's the better question, Eric.
Adam has sent John a message in the chat. So.
Yeah, so I have Alberta for sale, but the other.
We lost you, Adam. You froze up.
Do we lose Adam completely?
And froze up.
So I'd just like to jump in here quick until Adam can rejoin us, is that you kind of, as a fleet, you kind of need to make a decision as to whether you want to really try and sell boats within your fleet or within your more localized area, region, whatever. And we have a couple people up on Monona that have boats that they want to sell, but they only want to sell them up into Monona. And it's kind of like, okay, well, can we get more people into the boat in other places? Yeah. So if there's some fleets growing and everything like that, I think it's a good discussion point to kind of figure out what Fleet 135 might want to do with boats that they have. Chris brings up some very, very good points, but there are people who want to get a project boat. They don't want to pay as much, and they're willing to work on it and that type of thing. And as long as they understand what they're getting into.
Adam, if you can hear me, just make sure that if you sell the boat, say you got to come to the glow. It's a condition of the sale. That's all I ask. Okay.
Boom, right there.
Right. That's all I ask.
Right, I like it.
So, I mean, it's not a big secret. I can tell you there's 4 boats for sale. Kitchen sink 2, I believe it has a core problem, delamination in the stern behind the centerboard trunk. Bella is a boat that's for sale. Gel coat's really messed up. You can tell that it's been in some collisions and stuff. So there's spider cracks along the side, something going on in the front. What's the other one? Vanguard is the custom flex that's for sale. And what other one am I thinking of, Dan? There's one. I thought there was one more.
Alberta.
That one's good to go. I think there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, boat's good to go.
So
If Alberta is good to go, the question is, do we want to hold on to it internal? I think, Adam, you really got to think about that because Madison's eager to talk to you. Okay.
Yeah, Wendy reached out to me. She's thinking about maybe buying it, so that would be ideal.
Okay. So on the project boats, if we have project boats, again, my question is do I tell them we're talking about it, or do I tell them we'll sell you project boats? Who's Chris? Do you think we should sell them project boats or not sell them project boats? Sorry to harp in on the details, but
no, it's fine. It's just I'm just telling you up front that they've got core delamination issue. It'll never be a rate. I mean, a national champ. It's good enough for the district.
All right. So
pump something in there, seal it up, call it good, send somebody, get somebody out on the water. It's not a deal breaker. They're saleable. But
so we'll tell Madison our good boat might have a buyer. We're gonna see, wait till that develops. We have some project boats that are legit project boats. So if you want them, we have people who will sell them to you, but they're project boats, and we'll get back to you on this Alberta boat if Wendy comes through and wants to buy it or not. Does that sound good to everybody?
Right. Yeah, and for what it's worth, Vanguard is a really good deal too. I know it's a custom flex, but I mean, Tim has a new cover, new sales for it.
Okay. Yeah. So Chris, do you consider a Vanguard a project boat, or you consider that a pretty much good to go?
That's good to go. I've been through it and everything. The problem is
it's a custom
that
flex.
stigma, right? If they ever want to upgrade and move on.
Okay.
He's been sitting on it for about 6 months, and
so we have a good custom.
It's a tough sell because a lot of people just see custom flex and they discount it.
Okay, we have a good custom flex, which is a custom flex, and we have project boats, and we have a good boat. Except one of our internal fleet members is considering buying it, and we're going to wait on that before we let it go. As long as you're okay with that, Adam, it's your boat. I can't. So, all right, very, very good, guys. Sorry to go down a rabbit hole here, but I just really, it's hard to. This is the only time we get to talk as a group and get on the same page on this stuff. So.
Thank you, Chris. Greg, you still with us?
As long as I hit the right button, I'm still here.
We want to shift away from stuff for just a little bit. I may have misstated the percentage of increase on insurance, but still a key problem for us, and key consideration. And so I wanted to, Greg, he's treasurer of CDYC, and of course that's through there's how we're getting the insurance. So tell us a little bit, Greg.
A couple of you signed up for Clinton. I'd love to see all of the Scott sailors at Clinton signed up at least as associate members, since we're carrying the insurance up there. Yeah. I think there's one or two folks that haven't. I know, Dora, I saw you paid today, and John, I saw you joining the other day, so I appreciate it. John, you can join our club too for $60 being out of town. Then you can come over and sail with us either a Saturday or up at Clinton on a Wednesday night or whenever we race. But it is a big chunk because we rent the space that we're in from the park district. That's like $3,500. To pay for the docks through the city, that's another $4,100, and then our insurance is right around $10,000, and they said it could go up between 5 and 10%. I'm hoping we're at the 5% level. I mean, it's a very comprehensive policy, but that pretty much eats up 50% pretty close to 50% of our entire budget for the year. So we built 3 new dock sections and still doing a bunch of work on our existing docks. And we're going to try not to incur a lot of other expenses. We do have to have some social activities because we do have a cabin boat fleet and we do get people participating, and we need to keep those things going. We are celebrating our 90th anniversary this year as a club. We don't have a specific set of activities yet. We have a committee that's working on that, and more will roll out as somebody gets off his duff here and creates a few things. So I think we can do some really good things there. But participation is it. Bob's talked about doing some Sea Lake Saturday stuff. I assume you'll talk about that, how you want to organize that, Bob, and what you're thinking of for the summer. I know Eric and I had some discussion early on about moving people from just getting in a boat and taking a ride and, doing a basic Sea Lake Saturday to maybe a second level course where they're becoming more engaged and better skilled at being a skipper. So you know what to do when you get close to another boat and some more things like that. So we'll continue on to build that up a little bit. I think we talked about a way to certify people once they've done some of those things. So those would be some new activities that are coming out. I think that's about it from our club perspective. Saturday, like I said, we're going to hopefully get at least the main docks in, and then maybe the finger docks Sunday and the next week. But we're open for sailing season. I'd love to see us jump out there and do something before Memorial Day. It seems like Memorial Day is kind of a slow kickoff. Love to see us get something going. We have decided to move the Commodore Cup to October. It's going to be when we start talking about where can we land that doesn't interfere with a lot of other people. October, unfortunately, was the time, so it might be a little chilly, but I keep talking about trying to do some frostbiting. And, even though we got to have the docks out in November, we can still sail from the seawall. There's no reason we can't keep doing that. And with global warming, maybe there's some good sailing days even into November. Or heavens, could have gone out Christmas Day this past year. So we'll have some activities there, but we'll look at that. Put that on the third weekend in October is the Commodore Cup. We're going to have a lot of fun. Hopefully we'll have some good sponsorship again, and maybe we won't turn over as many boats this year. We'll keep from trying that. I think that's about all I got. Anybody got any questions about anything? Let me know.
Yeah, Greg, I don't know if you know that Carlisle, I'm no longer a member at Carlisle, but they're closing in September this year because they're getting a new parking lot. So we're really pushing for the Glow and for the Commodore's Cup. You might get more boats.
That'd be
just
great.
because they're not sailing at that time.
Yep, that'd be terrific. It's an easy trip from down there. So, it'd be great. We'll push. Are they closing for the whole month of September? So they're not doing the whale anymore this year?
Whale forward.
Who said that?
This is Dan. I was told they were moving the whale forward to get it in before the parking lot.
Well,
thank you, Greg. Bob, can you talk just briefly about Sea Lake Saturdays? We're getting long in the tooth, but
yeah, I'll make it short then. Basically, the Sea Lake's going to be the same as it was the last 2 years, and it starts with Greg and Eric doing advertising and getting individuals to go follow the link and log on to the Google Drive. And then basically from the Google Drive, I schedule everything every weekend. If we have 135 instructors that want to sail, let me know because I schedule all of the individuals, sailors with all of the boats and try to keep everybody occupied for the entire 3 hours in the morning. So If you want to act as an instructor, let me know ahead of time and I'll put you on the schedule for that weekend, that you're available. We're always moving instructors in and out because we have two compact 16s, a San Juan 21, as well as our Flying Scots. And we usually put 2 to 3 Flying Scots in the water and have them running continuously. So, any questions?
You want to do the communications to you over email, right, Bob?
Yes. Well, no, they need to just fill out the form. Once they fill out the form, I'll do the contacting and take it from there.
Right.
But if they want
as
to,
instructors.
instructors, yeah, they need to get in touch with me so that I can schedule them in the sequence with all of the other instructors we've got. That short enough for you, Dan?
Thank you, Bob. I think we're looking forward to getting that season started and filling in with some people. That being said, we've got an upcoming segment, but I left out. I plan to run Wednesday nights, similar to what we have. We know that things are changing a little bit up there, and we'll work with whatever we need to as far as our access and stuff up there at the marina. But there again, the program has worked, I think, extremely well. And Chris came up with some different twists that we threw in last year that we feel were fun and some good ideas and some good practice. So we'll continue to do that. We'll, I guess, continue to use the We Group contact list. But if somebody has suggestions, that's fine. And of course, not everybody can get there early, but it's very helpful. I know Adam's been there early, and it's very helpful if we can have some help getting stuff set up. So usually a lot of times Chris, if he comes up, he's working on boats and I'm working on boats, and it comes time to sail pretty quick. But with that, I'm going to turn it over to Eric. He's our racing chair, and he's also headed up a new project that's going to tie in. And so I'll let him field any questions from that. Thank you, Bob. Your floor, Eric.
I'll just make it quick, but you can ask as many questions as you want to. The glow's the glow. We're going to look forward to that. I'll be organizing both the regattas at year end, which I might be complaining about at the end of the year, but right now it's kind of nice to get off to not have to organize a regatta. So and focus on getting the year started. So hopefully that's the right move at the end of the day. In terms of racing on the weekends, we are going to be organizing Sunday racing as part of Clinton Marina Sailing Club, Commodore Decatur Yacht Club, and not anything else. Back before, you might remember that I had like a 10 boat minimum if I was going to bring in Jeff Endress as a PRO and that type of stuff. I think we can dial that down a little bit. If we have 6 boats for a good Sunday race, we can organize a good Sunday race, and we can do a buoy race. Dan has obligations at his campgrounds and stuff on Saturdays, so I'll basically be doing what Dan does on Wednesdays, and we all work together here. But we'll organize. It's going to be a beer can race, except when I can, I'm going to bring in drone pilots who are going to administer the races from the air, call OCS and keep scores and those types of things, so that we can make it more legitimate. And there's a lot of drone pilots who they're talking, and we'll see if it comes through. But it's looking pretty favorable that they want the practice. Speaking. Sorry, got a little dog here, but with the drone thing, we're making really big steps on what I like to call the drone program, because we've invested in video recorders and video playback recorders, and what that allows us to do is we can record the drone footage, and instead of having to download and edit and all that stuff, we just go back to the trailer on a TV, hit a button, and we can go to a point of interest such as a start or a mark rounding really quick from multiple drone angles, and we can talk about it and talk about the rules implications and talk about those things, and it's super cool without me or the drone pilots having to do any extra work. We just have to record it. So it's cutting edge and it's not, because it's really just as simple as recording and playback. But the way we've got it set up, it's I think you're going to be really happy when we pull the trailer up and afterwards we have a couple beers, talk about the rules implications and getting to see the highlights and everyone getting to see where they're rounding and stuff. And it's there. And Kevin got off the phone because he's got a long drive to Chattanooga tomorrow, but he spent 700 hours or something crazy number putting this trailer together for not just for the class, but so that we can leverage it on Wednesday nights and Sundays. And we're going to leverage it if we whenever we can. And it takes the burden off of us to have a race committee boat for Wednesdays and Sundays, and those types of things, as long as we can get the drone pilots. And it's super duper cool if it works out. It's U.S. Sailing gave me this great award for innovation in one design stuff, and that's nothing compared to what we're actually got going on the table now. So we're doing really super cool things that are leading the way here, and I think we're going to see it some on Wednesday nights, on Sundays for sure, and Chattanooga is going to take a first look at it this weekend. And it's a 65-inch big screen TV on a trailer and multiple drone angles, and the drone pilots are tripping over themselves to get an opportunity to come play with us. So everything is lining up. So hopefully it works out as planned. If you guys, the first weekend in June is the Decatur Powerboat races, and although it's not sailing, I can get you guys VIP tickets and those types of things if you want, because we're going to be recording and live streaming that event as well as part of this whole thing. So mark that on your calendars. That's all I got. Nor, you had a question?
One additional thing I'd like to say, we have had a contact or so on the Sunday sailing lessons, and that's something different we're gonna try. You want to hit on that just a little bit?
Sure. And Nor also raised her hand, but yes, the lessons is we have a great thing, amazing thing. Bob's doing God's work there in Decatur with the Saturday program, which is like amazing. I'm really happy how it turned out. But one thing that the program is lacking is more structured sailing and development of people. The mentorship aspect is unparalleled, but we needed to fill that gap. So we are offering structured lessons so that people can take 4-lesson packages with me, and then I'm going to evaluate it. I kind of want everybody coming through me, and then I'll talk to Greg and Rick and other instructors when I start getting a little overwhelmed. But we'll kind of see where it goes. But we wanted structured learning and coaching, not just for beginners, but for intermediate. If obviously you race with us on Wednesday nights, you don't pay nothing. But if there's somebody who doesn't race with us who still wants instruction, they can pay for our time and energy, and we'll still show them the way. So I think it's going to work out really, really well. And right there on Sundays, do Sunday mornings, primary lessons, and then if we have a race that day, I'll hang out and we'll go racing too. So it should work out really, really well. Nor
I was just wondering, for the Sunday debris races, how official do you want to do it? Like, are we gonna have an RC boat? Are we gonna have people on the RC boat? It would be great to have a refresher of, volunteering on the RC boat. That's how, I learned all the rules watching there. So I'm not sure if that's in the plan, or is it just the drones?
We don't have an RC boat, so we are not intending to get one at any time in the very near future. We're going to have an RC boat that we share between two clubs. So this is a way so that we can keep our sailors racing and not having to volunteer on a race committee boat, and still be able to benefit from OCS calls and those types of things. So you get the experience and the benefit of the racing, but without having the volunteer commitment. And there's pros and cons, obviously, but we want all of our racers on the water and not on a race committee boat, because I'm not going to talk much about CLSA, but every time I go race a CLSA, Rick's on the race committee boat, and I'm not racing Rick, and that's just pointless. So we want to get away from that. We want to race our people, and if we can leverage some drone pilots to say whether you're over, I I think that's better. My concern is more about safety response with boats and not raising flags. But we'll have to figure that out down the road, and we're working on that. So, does that answer your question, Nora? Okay.
I'd like to interject two things kind of that just popped into my mind as we were talking. Nor, if we have moderate to heavy winds, I'll always be encouraging people to use the mast flotations, because we'll have less access to like a safety boat. But we still want to be able to do it as safe as we can, but still get some quality racing and practice in. And the other thing, I'm going to be encouraging everybody that comes out there and sails with us, maybe not, the brand new people crewing and stuff, but we're capitalizing on a lot of good graces of people that are helping support that. I am going to highly encourage anybody that's out there sailing with us to, especially if you're skippering, to pay the associate membership. These are the clubs providing insurance, and I just feel like eventually it's important that we do that. So, and it's a very reasonable fee, at least at this point. Anybody else have questions? I appreciate everybody's time that they came and joined us tonight. I think Eric, I, or Chris, we're definitely, or Bob or Greg for that matter, we're available if you think of something later. So appreciate your time. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.